All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's Monday night. It's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. Tonight, we talking the Democrat versus the Republican agenda. Let's get ready to rock on the Urban Conservative Podcast.
Hey, buddy, do you like NASCAR? Do you like a Tribe Called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you'd love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Welcome to the Urban Conservative Podcast, where we do not believe that avocado toast can save the planet or the world will end, because cars use gasoline. You won't hear that Wi-Fi is a basic human right, or that billionaires are secretly supervillains. Here, we do not believe that electric cars run on hopes and dreams. You also won't hear that anyone who disagrees with us is a fascist, or that socialism will make everyone rich. You won't be gender affirmed or offered any opportunity to share your preferred pronouns. If this causes you any discomfort, please rest assured that we couldn't possibly care less. For everyone else, thank you, and please stand by.
My fellow Americans, it's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. This is without a doubt the best podcast on the internet. It's about to go down here on the Urban Conservative.
3, 2.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's Monday night. Yours truly, Abdul Ali, with my twin brother from the same mother, no other, Raheem Architect Soto, the TUC twins in the building for the Urban Conservative Podcast. TUconservative.com is the website. You see that flashing across the bottom of your screen. That is where you can support our mission of sharing conservative values and principles, as well as the benefits of conservative policies to urban communities.
Wait. Well, now that you've said that, right? Now that you've thrown that out there, why don't we go ahead and
This special coverage of the 2025 presidential inauguration is brought to you in part by Ed Broyhill, the RNC committee man for the great state of North Carolina. Under Ed's leadership, North Carolina won for Donald Trump in both 2020 and 2024. Thank you again, Ed Broyhill, for your service to the Republican Party and your support of the urban. All right, yeah, we got to give a big shout out to Ed Broyhill, big supporter of the Urban Conservative, RNC committee man for North Carolina. We appreciate your support. Matter of fact, I will see him this weekend in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration of 4547. That's what
I was about to say, you got an interesting trip coming up. You know, shouts out to the BCF folks. You know how that goes.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm excited about that, man. We're going to spend time with Senator Tim Scott, Congressman Byron Donalds, the next governor for the state of Virginia. Winsome Sears is going to be in the building. Tickets are sold out, so I can't even tell people to go get their tickets for the BCF Gala because the tickets are sold out.
Well, here's my thing, right? We be talking about flex, right? Now, I watch a lot of to try to dumb myself down after watching some serious stuff. Right. I try to watch some silly stuff. Thank you. And I must say it is very interesting, right? I was looking at a picture of Congress and looking at like it was like a picture of all of the elected officials. And I was like, I know that guy. And I know that guy, and I know that guy, and well, I know that guy, met that guy, know that guy, know that gal. Right. And it's just like, it's one of those very, very weird things where, you know, we do this podcast and we do this for people who we don't want the echo chamber, right? And we know who our demographic is. We know who we cool with, but we want this messaging to get out. We want this podcast to get out to people who may not see it the way that we see it, right? And who are maybe on the fence about these things. And that's why today's show is important. What is the Democrat agenda versus the Republican agenda? And hopefully by the end of this podcast, we could have at least pointed you in the right direction about this information, about this type of thing, because it's important. Coming off a presidential election, I think it's very important we look at what these agendas are. So, Ali, let's jump in at the point where we say, well, what do we mean the Democrat versus Republican agenda, right? Let's clarify that real quick and then get into the informational.
Well, let's do this. I think it's important for anybody, especially folks that may, like my brother said, not necessarily be all the way into politics, maybe on the fence or whatever. Let's be clear that both political parties, all politicians go into politics and operate, the political parties operate with an agenda, with a set end game in mind, if you will, whether that is a policy position, whether that is going back to Congress to get resources to bring back to their district, whether that's the state legislature, and gerrymandering the seats. Everybody's got an agenda. Okay. And when we talk about the Democrat agenda and the Republican agenda, more often than not, what we're talking about is a very progressive left-leaning agenda versus what some would call a conservative agenda. And one of these two groups of people want government to expand, want the size of government to get bigger. Another group of people, the other ones, want government to be smaller, or at least that's what they say. Let's just be real. That's what they say. And I think we need to start out by defining, bro, how these people come up with their agendas, or where people can go take a look at to start understanding where these agendas come from. So if you were teaching a group of fifth graders, right, bro, and they said, well, how do we start by identifying where these agendas are? Where's the first place you look?
So the first place we're going to want to start is the party platform, right? And for those who don't know what a party platform is, it is a spelled out document that tells you what joint this party's about. What are our policy positions? What are our stances on economics? Now, um, usually there should be a guideline from the top all the way down to your local party, right? So this is the Democrat Party, right? And it's funny because when you look at the social media tag for this, when you pull it up, it says master plan, right? It doesn't say that there, but when there's like a sub link on it. It's just very funny. It says master plan on it. I should have screenshotted that. But this is the Democrat Party platform. And Ali, if you want to run through this really quickly, right? Because what happens is when you look at what oh wow. Yeah, I was trying to be nice. Go ahead.
I mean, what were you gonna say? What you just looked at that and what?
Just go ahead and read it. Go ahead.
All right, our nation. This is the Democrat Party's preamble. It says our nation is at an inflection point. What kind of America will we be? A land of more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer, an economy rigged for the rich and powerful, or where everyone has a fair shot at getting ahead? Is that even realistic that everyone has a fair shot? You mean even the guy who's like in the gutter, drinking his life away, smoking crack has a shot? Okay, I'm just,
all right.
Well,
all right. Every tree in the jungle doesn't have a fair shot at sunlight.
Isn't this a little outdated though? The stakes in this election are enormous.
Well, this is the most recent one they have. This is their platform.
We've created nearly 16 million jobs. A record number of small businesses are being started and factories are coming home. We've lowered families' health insurance premiums, and we stood up to big pharma to lower prescription drug prices, which is not necessarily true. We're helping students catch up on learning loss. No, you are not. And we're forgiving millions of crushing student loans. No, you are not. Not as far as the good old judiciary got to say about it. We passed the first significant gun safety law in decades and made record investments in public safety, putting more police officers.
Do me a favor. Let's speed
this
this up and hit the word black. Let's do a control F and find out the instances what they talk about for black people. Let's deal with that because that's another agenda. What are they doing for black people? What do they mention about African Americans, black people in their agenda? Command F. What do we get?
Right here, first instance, black workers. Wages are up across the board and rising fast for lower income workers, black workers, Latino, and women. It's not necessarily true, but as a result, America is in the midst of a historic small business boom. Since the pandemic, the share of black households owning a business has more than doubled. So, but they don't ever clarify, like, are these profitable businesses? Are this people that just filled out to start a company
and get a loan, get a COVID loan?
830,000 Black Americans have health insurance. Coverage is up and costs are down. That's not true. We are rooting bias out of the home appraisal process, which perpetuates the racial wealth gap by unjustly undervaluing millions of Black. Oh, so now all of the appraisers are racist. There you go. If you're a home appraiser, just know that you're a racist, according to this Democrat Party platform here.
And you're supposed to appraise a home in a crappy area for more money when it's owned by a Black or Latino family, because if not, you're racist. That's what you're supposed to do.
Then they talk about Trump here. Trump has made it worse. He's never done anything.
Now that should be an alarm. That should be a problem. If you're all right, let's take this approach where we're neutral and we're just looking at the party platform. All right. As somebody who's going to ask a logical question, why are we talking about somebody else in our platform?
That is a very fair question.
Right? I don't think that should be that. Your party platform should almost not matter. When I say update it, there comes a point where you have to update it because things change. As you accomplish goals, as you accomplish missions, as certain things like, get done, you might say, hey guys, we've had this for 5 years. We've accomplished some, we've moved along this direction, this trajectory with some of the policy positions and blah, blah, blah. Let's revise, which is something that is understandable. But I don't think you should be talking about your political opponent per se in your party platform.
So listen to this. They said as president, Trump tried to triple rent for low-income Americans and subsidize housing, including the elderly and people with disabilities, and to gut policies that help Black and Latino families access fair housing. So that's the fifth. So let's see, number 6. For young people just headed to college, we've secured the largest increase in Pell Grants. We've invested a record $16 billion in historically Black colleges. Let's not talk about the graduation rate. Let's not do that, though. Another thing about Black colleges, disproportionate. Why is it the word disproportionately affect is like almost always preceding the word Black in this thing?
How many more instances? How many more you got?
Is several 31 total instances that the word Black appears in there. He's appointed more Black women to federal circuit courts than every other president combined. Now, I happened to listen to some of those confirmation hearings, and by and large, these were people that I don't think should have made it on the judge. But when you have the numbers, you get what you want.
Right.
But the point of bringing this up is that this is how easy it is if you're concerned about Black issues, you're concerned about Latino issues, this is where you go to look at what the political party stands for. This is the platform for the Democrat Party. Now, let's juxtapose that. Hold on. I want to do something real quick before I do that, bro. We're already at page 46. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of this thing, right? I don't know if you're seeing me do this, but I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of this thing and see something real quick. This thing is 91 pages long, okay? It's 91 pages, all right? Let's go over to the Republican Party platform. This is the 2024 RNC platform. Y'all ready to go? Before we go all the way down, before I do that, what I wanted to do, I'm just curious, bro. It's 28 pages.
How many was the other one?
91.
Jeez.
Now, I just want to make sure I got it right. There's 28 pages, bro. Page 27 and 28 is a graphic. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's look at what the Republicans are standing for here. So contents. 1, defeat inflation, quickly bring down prices, seal the border, stop the migrant invasion, build the greatest economy in history.
All right, hold on. Back up. These are one pointers. Like, look at, all right, much more simple. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Bring back the American dream, make it affordable for families, young people, and everyone. Protect American workers and farmers, protect seniors, cultivate great K through 12 schools leading to great jobs and great lives for young people. Bring common sense to our government and renew the pillars of American civilization, government of, by, and for the people, and return to peace through strength. I don't want to be funny here. I'm not trying to be facetious or nothing, but this is purposefully simple. It's purposely simple.
Well, there's no every bit of fat has been trimmed off of this. And if you want to talk about, all right, so if we want to talk about, and we got to get ready to take a quick commercial break, but if you want to talk about understanding a party platform, right? All right, let's look at this because the language of the platform matters, right?
Right.
And I want those of you who are new to politics or not really engaged like that to understand something. It's sometimes meant to be more emotional than academic. It's not meant for you to get a real understanding. It's meant to make you feel some type of way, which you gotta understand are two different things. How you feel and what you know could be two different things. You could be totally wrong about how you feel about something. You could be made to feel a certain way about something. And this is a little more simple than that. So defeat inflation and quickly bring down all prices. How do you plan to do that? What's the commitment?
All right. Here's how you do that. Unleash American energy, drill baby drill, rein in wasteful federal spending, cut costly and burdensome regulation, stop illegal immigration, and restore peace through strength. That's how you do that. Do you need anything else?
Okay, but what are those points underneath it? Because you just said the headline, right? So
okay,
what do you mean?
So to
what do you
defeat
mean?
inflation? So under President Trump, the U.S. became the #1 producer of oil and natural gas. We'll soon again by lifting restrictions on energy production and terminating the Green New Deal.
Stop. People, y'all understand how? Like, I think that's understated, right? How important that is. Became the #1 producer of oil and natural gas in the world. Do y'all understand when y'all? So here's the thing. Some of y'all talk about that are into boxing and into certain things. Y'all talk about Dubai and the Saudis and the boxing and the trillions and they have unlimited money because of the oil. And y'all seem to disconnect that from what this statement just said. Wait, we're what? We could be what?
We will soon be #1 in oil and natural gas production again. By lifting restrictions on production and terminating the Green New Deal, you unleash energy production from all sources, including nuclear, to immediately slash inflation, empower American homes, cars, and factories with reliable, abundant, and affordable energy. And you know what happens when diesel costs less, when diesel costs less, it costs less to operate farming equipment, which drives down the price of what? Food. When diesel costs less, it drives the cost of trucking the food, so that drives down the price of food. When energy is cheaper, everything becomes cheaper. Is that complicated?
It shouldn't be. For the most part, it shouldn't be complicated, but you got to remember something. The products, right? And this is something that I really think people need to focus on, especially in the quote unquote urban community, is think about this. The energy production alone and the products that come from the derivatives of these natural gases and these petroleums, they make a lot of things easier to produce. There's a reliance, right? Think about it like this. You should only be really reliant on your job or your source of income. Outside of that, you don't go to like your neighbor's house to eat his food and just walk out, right? Like you don't just do that, right? You gotta survive yourself. So how would you look as a country relying on China for anything? Like, what would you want to have that relationship with especially a foreign adversary, right? Or somebody that you in competition with at least. Like, nah. And you could get it at the crib, bro. Nah, you ain't supposed to do that. You supposed to get all of that oil, all of the natural gas in the safest manner that you can and drive down the cost for everyone. And like you said, that the farming thing, the food thing, me and Heather were just talking about that, going grocery shopping and looking at what we spending versus like making a menu going like, wow. Like yo, eggs are $9 per egg? 9?
9, bro. So to flip the script a little bit, this is what the Democrat platform says on energy. Across the world, we're seeing massive new clean energy production and uptake. We're at the dawn of a new era that will redefine the global economy and that America must lead. President Biden's Investing in America agenda makes the largest clean energy investment in history, and it has already attracted over $400 billion in private sector commitments to develop and manufacture solar, wind, battery, and other clean technologies here at home. Today, 585 new clean energy manufacturing projects are underway, not just on the coast, but in 47 states, including in places too often left behind. Some 81% of the investments made since our landmark climate law passed are going to counties with below average wages. America is making leaps forward in energy generation and storage while modernizing. It doesn't say anything about using what we have in the ground. I mean, it just doesn't say that.
Right.
It just keeps going. We'll invest in clean energy. We'll invest in green energy. We'll invest in clean energy. And you know what that means? More money going to China, as far as I'm concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, you are checking out the Urban Conservative Podcast on a Monday night. We're talking about the Democrat agenda versus the Republican agenda. We're going to take a very, very quick commercial break. Come right back. We're going to talk a little bit about the congressional agendas and see what they got going on there. We'll be right back on the Urban Conservative Podcast. This season of The Urban Conservative is brought to you by Homium, helping to build generational wealth for historically disadvantaged groups, low-income households, and first-time homebuyers. Homium is helping to bridge the affordability gap for home ownership in your community. Visit homium.io. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back on the Urban Conservative Podcast. Got to give a shout out to Tommy and Marcus and the whole crew over at Homium. Appreciate the love and support, y'all. Got some major things happening in the affordable housing space. We're going to be actually, bro, we're going to have Marcus on in a couple of weeks to talk about that.
Right.
Super excited. So look, we often talk about this in the dynamic when we talk about agendas, right? We talk about this from the perspective of Democrat versus Republican. And you gotta know, right? You gotta know that going into the 119th Congress, this new Congress, right? There are going to be at the beginning a lot, as there always is, a lot of stuff said. We've got to find common ground. We've got to work together for the benefit of the American people.
All right, hold on. This is what you're saying. Let's look at what's going on right now, and I don't know if this is fair to do. Can we juxtapose how Florida deals with hurricanes with how California is dealing with this wildfire, right? And I have to say, prayers go out to those who've lost family members and or property and invaluables. We hope everybody okay, get some healing, and hopefully things get under control out there. But excuse me, to have a mayor, to have a governor, to have a political structure that will cut the funding, their agenda. So think about if you live in California, the agenda of the people in charge there thought it was a good idea in a place where wildfires happen to cut funding for fire protection.
They didn't build the water storage facilities. Gavin Newsom, I mean, look, bro, I don't understand how he made it through that last election, but it has been absolutely terrible. Incompetent is an understatement. Like, bro, the fact of the matter is that they had the rainfall. They just the tens of billions of dollars that the California legislature put into place to build the water storage has just not been done. So you ask yourself a question: is the agenda of people like the ones who have the supermajority in California, is that agenda what's best for the people of California, or is that agenda what's best to keep themselves in power? Yo, do you know what the salary of the mayor of Los Angeles is?
What, 90, 100 grand?
Okay, hold on. Los Angeles
90,
mayor,
100 grand easily, right?
90 to 100 grand easily.
It's got to be.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna tell you right now. I was gonna get $269,365 is the salary for the mayor of Los Angeles.
What?
$269,365 is the mayor's salary for the city of Los Angeles.
Insane.
Hold on.
That's insane.
The mayor of San Francisco, $374,000.
You gotta be kidding me. Yeah. Yo.
$374,036.
All right, can I
No,
show?
I'm wrong.
Can I show y'all?
I'm wrong. I'm incorrect.
Hold on.
That number's $383,760.
Yo, let me show you something real quick.
Yo, the mayor of San Francisco makes about the same money as the president. That's nuts.
Hold on. This is what you get. I gotta show you this. This is, hold on, let me make sure. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it. Hold on.
You gotta share it.
I'm gonna share it. Share this tab. So there's a video there, and this was going on in LA.
You better go in there off the back.
Hold on. Oh, we got an ad.
Yeah.
I'm going in there off the back. Tripping. I like going to enemy dorms. That's the best time. You go in there.
All blood dorm.
Going up. Good. You radio it. You let them know where you from. Go to the back. Catch all your fades.
He said, "Catch all your fades." Yeah, that's what's running around in LA right now. If we could go, like, you got to understand what LA's producing, right? The county of Los Angeles. And no, disrespectfully, like, I get it. I know these type of dudes, but this is the energy that's going on. If you tap into urban culture and you tap into what's going on, this is the energy that's going on around right now. It's a lot of it's dudes that's telling you my name is Lucifer. I name myself after Lucifer because I want all the drama. I want to have fights. I want that. I'm looking for that. So, and this is what the state education system is nurturing. This is what it's unfortunate. But I only say that to say that's part of the Democrat agenda. That has to be part of, you have to include that in the Democrat agenda.
So let me throw this at you, bro. Let me try it this way. Is it that their agenda is to hold on to as much power as possible?
I think at this point, there's two parts to the agenda. I think there was a point where Democrats, the parties were not as polarized on a human level at one point. I think it started that way, super polarized on an issue like slavery, which is super polarizing, right? Think about it. Think about the concept of that. Then we have this transitional period where it's like, all right, well, y'all do that over there, and wherever y'all could get that off at, get that off. Like, that was really the dynamic until it made it to that type of situation, right? Everybody felt this type of way. The majority of the thing went this way. This is how it went. So now you have a gap where it's not that politically polarizing, where I think it was like, I mean, do we look at Jim Crow and can we separate Jim Crow and that whole period by Republican Democrat? Did the Democrats have an agenda during Jim Crow that was pro Jim Crow? Let's ask that question. If we talk about the agenda, and I'm saying that it's relative to now, because if you think about it, I don't think their agenda now for the people is more of the same. It's like, we're going to keep pushing this line on the racism. We're going to keep pushing this line on abortion. We're going to try to keep these people as entertained and low information as possible. We will bring every twerking rapper, everybody with a BBL. We will feed you. We will give you a concert. We will spend $1 billion.
A whole cool, smooth billion. Matter of fact, we'll go 24 million in the hole for you.
Yo, we'll do all of that, and none of that was about political education. None of that was about empowering anybody. That was all about entertainment and trying to connect emotionally. So I think that's where we end up.
So check this out. I wanna. You mentioned saying that there was a time when Democrats and Republicans weren't that far off. This is something I find interesting. Listen to this. Tell me if you can hear this.
Allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship and guarantee of full access to all public and social services this society provides. And that's a lot of services. Is it any wonder that 2/3 of the babies born at taxpayer expense at county-run hospitals in Los Angeles are born to illegal alien mothers?
We have 17% of our prison population at a cost of $300 million a year be illegal immigrants who come here and commit felonies. That's not what this nation is all about.
According to the Attorney General, 26% of federal prisoners are non-citizens at a cost of $30,000 per inmate per year.
Here's what I'll do. Number one, the borders are more leaking today than they were before 9/11. The fact is we haven't done what we need to do to toughen up our borders, and I will.
Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple. Until the American people are convinced that we will stop future flows of illegal immigration, we will make no progress on dealing with the millions of illegal immigrants who are here now and on rationalizing our system of legal immigration.
I'm deeply opposed to illegal immigration, and I call on the federal government, the president, and the immigration services to stop the inflow of illegal immigrants into this country. And I've supported wise state policies to try to make sure that we do not provide services to folks in this state who are not here legally.
When we use phrases like undocumented workers, we convey a message to the American people that their government is not serious about combating illegal immigration.
So that gets us to the immigration issue. If poverty is increasing and if wages are going down, I don't know why we need millions of people to be coming into this country as guest workers who will work for lower wages than American workers and drive wages down even lower than they are right now.
If you knowingly hire an illegal alien, then you should be held accountable.
So there was a point, folks, where Democrats and Republicans sounded very, very similar on the issue of illegal immigration. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what changed about the agenda? What happened politically along the lines of agenda building, agenda tampering, that you now have Chuck Schumer using a term that he just said didn't make sense? That shows the American people that the government isn't serious about immigration when you call them an undocumented person. These are all Democrats that you hear. Hold on, a couple of more. Listen to this.
And that this whole immigration guest worker concept is the other side of the trade issue. On one hand, you have large multinationals trying to shut down plants in America, move to China, and on the other hand, you have the service industry bringing in low-wage workers from abroad. The result is the same. Middle class gets shrunken and wages go down.
The next person I hear tell me that my labor guys aren't willing to work hard, that's why you have illegals putting up sheetrock. Oh, no. Then I want to tell you, you don't know my guys. Don't buy this stuff that Americans will not do these jobs.
What is the left telling us now? Why do we need to have these folks come in the country? Because what? Americans won't do those jobs. That's exactly what's being said now, folks. That's the line we're getting told. And I think that's the only reason is because the agenda shifted. The agenda shifted to where they want to try to get these folks in the country, give them temporary protected status, give them driver's licenses, give them what they need to secure left Democrat left victories and elections going forward in our country. So that's one side of the agenda. Now, I wanted to take a second, bro, just a quick minute to kind of look at what Mike Johnson and the Republicans have said that they would prioritize coming into this next Congress: fiscal responsibility, national security, securing the border, energy dominance, protecting the cities, and strong families. And part of that, I think, is what you see Trump trying to put in place with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, what we talked about earlier, and getting that government spending down and getting a more efficient government. That's a great part of the agenda.
Well, with one thing, if I had to look at right, because fiscal responsibility may be an easy one to discuss, right? But the protecting the cities, right? The one that I think hits home the most for us is protecting our cities, and the other one that was on the right of that. The fact of the matter is this: the federal government is limited in what they could do in a law enforcement capacity in the city, right? So one thing that you need to make sure is that the federal government is supporting state law enforcement and local law enforcement to that effect. So
Well, no, back up. Let me help you out. So what you got to have when you say protecting our cities is you got to have sheriff's departments, you got to have police departments that are going to follow the law and honor ICE detainers. When you have people who are found to be in the country illegally, who are committing violent crimes, you got to root out these sanctuary city sheriffs, these that are not going to follow the law.
Right.
So that's that's just the bottom line on that.
The Lincoln Riley Act, right? Pull that up real quick, because
Mhm.
that's part of the Republican agenda right now, and I've seen some very interesting people get on board with that. I believe Fetterman spoke about that, if I'm not mistaken. But even that is something that you know, even that is something like they both have that in mind. If that's something that's a bipartisan approach, we can look and say that that's something that's both on their agendas, and you have to have the ability to do that, right? Um, they let's be honest, Ali. What would it take for you as a sheriff to not cooperate with ICE, right? Like, what circumstance could you see yourself in where the ICE department comes in and says, we're coming with resources and we're going to remove any violent or wanted illegal migrants? If they're wanted in their country or they're wanted here, we're going to help you catch and apprehend those that are absconding justice. What circumstances could you provide to not assist in that?
Nah, there doesn't doesn't even make sense, bro. If your duty as a sheriff, as a police chief is to defend your community, keep your folks safe, and that's a shared mission that you have with federal law enforcement, then there's no circumstance that I could think of. The only thing that I could see that a sheriff wouldn't want to work with ICE is if ICE came in and said, we're looking for American citizens. Like that's the only thing that I could some weird,
something that's
some
way
weird
violation.
dystopian violation of,
Right.
But I pulled up this Lake and Riley Act. What did it? Before we talk about that, I see shout out to Mark Cosgrove got a comment. He says Musk says Americans aren't smart enough to work for him.
Did he say that? Pull that up. When did he say that?
I don't know. Let me find that. Thanks.
He's on the Republican side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what he's talking about. If he said that, I mean, that would have to be part of the agenda. I mean, that's interesting. I didn't hear that, but
hold on.
I mean, son, I don't know how I feel about that. Okay. What did he say?
Trump administration advisor Elon Musk angered MAGA supporters with his approval of a social media post sarcastically explaining that immigrants are needed for tech jobs because U.S. workers are unqualified. Using the X social media platform by Musk, an account called Autism Capital summed up the debate. So Musk didn't say it.
Okay, there we go. That's the first thing, but keep going.
Yeah, Musk didn't say it.
No, go back up. Let's go back. Let's just make sure we're reading that correct. Read it one more time.
Okay. Trump administration advisor Elon Musk angered MAGA supporters with his approval of a social media post.
Wait. Who are these MAGA supporters that are? Go ahead.
I don't know. They didn't say.
With his approval of a social media post.
The immigrants are needed for tech jobs because workers aren't qualified. Using the X social media platform owned by Musk, an account called Autism Capital summed up the debate over H-1B visas, allowing U.S. employers to hire foreign workers in specialized fields, saying traditional American conservatives want tech jobs but complain they aren't getting adequate training to do them. According to Autism Capital, the viewpoint of tech forward Republicans is that those people are too mentally impaired to be trained. That pretty much sums it up. Musk responded to the Thursday night post, which used a pejorative term for the mentally challenged. Musk himself was raised in South Africa, became a U.S. citizen in 2002, so he's been a citizen for over a dub. His response kicked off a spirited debate. Now, I want to ask you a question, bro.
So he said that pretty much sums it up. The meme?
Yeah, I want to see.
And the meme is saying that American workers are complaining that they don't get the training while wanting the tech job, so they're not smart enough to get the tech job. Is that the argument? Okay.
That's it.
And now everyone's outraged because he said that.
Everyone's outraged because they said that.
All right, where does it let's ask this question. Where does America rank educationally in the world? Let's pull the Band-Aid off. Let's just go ahead and pull the Band-Aid off. Where does America rank as it relates to education in the world? Where
Hold on, I'm pulling that up. Education rankings by country. Let's go.
There we go. Let's see what's going on. So are we smart enough? Let's find out. What do we got?
We're 31 in the world. Oh, snap.
We're 31. Out of how many?
Education rank. I mean, we're 31 in the world out of all
so
of them.
Who's 30 through 1? Like, that's what I need to know. Who's 30 through 1? Who's beating us out here?
Okay, hold on. Let's look. Education rank. Okay, no, here we go. United States is number 1.
There we go.
Yeah, United States is number 1.
For what? Overall?
Yeah. Okay. So now we number 1 in the world.
Good.
But the question, I mean,
so let's refine the question. What does America rank in training for tech for those IT jobs? Because we got Silicon Valley, we got all of that, right? So where do we rank with those? Because that's a more of a general question. Where do we rank educationally? So we got MIT, we got like how many people go to MIT?
Not a lot get into MIT.
Right. So like where are these? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think one of the things is that, and it could be knowing meme culture, kind of knowing how that all pans out. What they could be pointing out is the fact that we are not, as a country, turning out the type of if we look at our literacy rates coming out of high school, we look at people going into the tech fields.
Yeah, but how do we rank number 1 with all of that going? That's what I'm confused.
That's a great point. Great question. Hold on. Education rankings by country. So let's see. Education rank. Canada's number 19. America's number 31. Data year. Population rank number 3. Growth rate, world percentage, density, land area, growth rate.
Yeah, no, we're ranked number 31.
I'm
That's
looking
cool.
through this here.
That's cool. I'll take 31. It's mad countries. You know what I'm saying, B? Countries go up and down, right? And it's one of those statistics where it's like, what are they using? All right. Well, my point was, because we could get in the weeds with this, and it's one of those things we could talk about for a while. I generally think, if you're gonna be upset with his, I guess he approved the meme. He found it funny. I don't know that he said American workers are not smart enough to work for him. I gotta imagine Americans.
I mean, look, I get it. I think there are
Right.
smart, some of us are smart, but I don't know that we're
No, but
turning
the question
out.
is, does he employ Americans? The minute you tell me he employs Americans, now what?
Yeah, you got a point.
I'm just asking,
So,
where do we go with the
no,
argument once you say?
no. You got a very valid point. But I wanna go here, because on the tail end of this, right? I want to know what you think this guy and his crew is going to be up to. What do you think is on the Democrat agenda? Because we
I got a
talked about
list,
the
bro.
Republican agenda. Let's talk about it. Let's do one quick last commercial break, 10-second
I got a
commercial break
list.
here.
I got a
And we're
list.
gonna come back with Raheem's list of the
Y'all better
Democrat
hit the
agenda.
share right now. Y'all gotta hit the
Y'all
share
might
right
want to
now.
hit that
All right.
share button. We'll be right back.
This season of The Urban Conservative is brought to you by Homium, helping to build generational wealth for historically disadvantaged groups, low-income households, and first-time homebuyers. Homium is helping to bridge the affordability gap for home ownership in your community. Visit homium.io.
This special coverage of the 2025 presidential inauguration is brought to you in part by Ed Broyhill, the RNC committee man for the great state of North Carolina. Under Ed's leadership, North Carolina won for Donald Trump in both 2020 and 2024. Thank you again, Ed Broyhill, for your service to the Republican Party and your support of the urban. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back on the Urban Conservative Podcast. On the tail end of this, we've talked about the Republican agenda and Trump, and what his agenda is coming into this new, his final era of being president, 45, 47. Now we're going to get into Raheem's list of what he thinks the Democrat agenda is going to be going forward. Raheem, what you got? Let's go.
All right, let me share my screen first. Let me put that there. Just share that for me. Put that there.
Okay, gotcha. It's up.
All right, see the meme? You see the meme?
Yeah, how Democrats want police to fight crime.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I'm
here's what I think the Democrat list of priorities are going. California, they're gonna ban single-use straws again. They're gonna replace them with fully biodegradable kale-infused drinking apparatuses. So we will
not bio-infused kale.
Yeah, biodegradable kale-infused drinking apparatuses is what you're going to get from the Dems in 2025. You're going to get universal health care for pets, because no hamster should face an exorbitant veterinarian's bill, right? I think there's going to be a major push for reparations for dinosaurs, because it is time to apologize for the asteroid that hit the planet that we did not, in fact, stop. That's racist, and I think the Democrats are going to push for that. I think there's going to be a national ban coming from the Democrats on pumpkin spice before October. They're going to want to protect seasonal sanctity. They're going to start calling. It's one of their top tier agendas.
Sanctity of the seasons.
Yeah. Okay. Government funded TikTok class.
Wait, what?
Government funded TikTok classes. I think one of them are going to try that. Ensuring that the U.S. stays competitive in the international dance-off arena. So that way, the nurses and everyone else who has the time to do TikTok dances competitively will be properly trained.
For the record, I gotta tell you, bro. I gotta tell you, I cringe every time I see somebody in a United States military uniform doing
Oh,
like
yeah.
a Facebook or TikTok video. When I was in the Army, I don't know where these people found the time to do that. I'm just like, yo, I'm just, it weirds me out. I'm not gonna lie. It just weirds me out. Keep going.
Okay, I got a couple more and then I'm done. So aliens will get a path to citizenship.
You
But we're
mean
not.
like aliens from Venezuela?
No, I mean the little green ones. They will get it. They will get a path to citizenship in 2025 if it's left up to the
Was that
Democrats.
Mars attacks? I can see them now. Ban, 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 ban.
Yeah. They're going to want to replace the national anthem with Beyonce's Formation. So that way they will get maximum crowd participation. Their next
Wow.
political rally. Last but not least, they will push for climate change debate boxing matches. It will be big oil CEOs and everybody will fight Greta Thunberg when it takes all. That's what you got. They will. I got two more. They will attempt to ban billionaires from space, saying that they think we should focus on fixing the Earth before anyone buys Mars. And they will want to redesign the American flag in 2025. Their agenda, they want to add rainbows, holograms, and cats with dyed hair.
Wow, cats with dyed hair. Leaving it there, ladies and gentlemen. You've been checking out episode.
That's what I got.
Episode 501 of the Urban Conservative Podcast. For all our Play Black crew, make sure you check this out anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you listen to podcasts in a place and you can't find us, send us an email to the email on your screen, tuconservative@gmail.com. Make sure like, share, follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell on YouTube so you know when we go live. Drop special reports. Make sure you are here for our special coverage of the Black Conservative Federation Gala on Sunday. Make sure we're going to have inauguration coverage live.
You still got time to get an ad if you need one, to be honest
If you really wants to get one. But make sure you're here for that. We're going to have those set up here in the next day or so you'll know when we go live from DC for that. But, thank you again for checking out the Urban Conservative Podcast. Abdul Ali here, my twin brother Raheem Architect Soto. Y'all have a positive and productive rest of your week. We'll see y'all when we go live. Peace and love, y'all.